Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It all depends on your location. As you know, it's a new day in Nigeria. But men are not happy. The youths are very, 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 very sad. I would say majority of the youths are sad. East, west, north, south. As we now know, because something happened on the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. That is daylight robbery took place in Nigeria. Electoral daylight robbery committed by criminal politicians and their, what do you call it, referee, the INEC chairman, and his crooks or gangs of crooks, you know. So they did it so obviously clear, and they really did it, barefaced, without any shame. In fact, after watching this whole episode played out, then I just saw that there might be no hope for Nigeria. As in Nigeria, there might be hope for every unit if they choose to be on their own at every given time. But that country, that entity called Nigeria, as is supposed to be according to the colonial, structure of corruption, etc. So because that brings to mind again about colonialism and everything else that happened or that took place in Nigeria before independence and up till now. Because you can see how the robbery took place, barefaced, you know, in the presence of everyone. The international community was there, ECOWAS, whatever others they call them or call themselves, they were all there, hanging out. They were just, onlookers anyway. They just can't do much. But the thing is, they were at least bold enough to voice out or uttered out what they thought was going on or what they saw. That the whole thing was not transparent at all, opaque. It was. Everything was decked, covered up with blankets and things like that, you know. So, and they made their their own opinion, known. So they give out their documents and everything, and they make all their press releases, etc., etc. So we now know what happened. Even from those of us who were looking from afar or watching from afar, we all saw what happened. We saw a lot of videos here and there, clips of videos, of ballot, there were ballot boxes smashing and tearing of ballot papers simply because in favor of that. There's something that I just realized in this whole thing is that actually, if you're a politician and you just don't want your opponent to win, as far as you have the government behind you, all you just have to do is just to deploy some talks to that area. So whatever thing, if anything just happened there at all, any obstructions happened there, or somebody just go there, just carry one bottle, just spill out the whole documents on the floor, that's the end of the whole thing. Which means, you know, the elections there will be cancelled. Why in your own area, then if you only have 100, then that 100 will take you to the House of Rep or House of, you know, uh, House of the upper house, the Senate, or House of Assembly, as the case may be. So that is the way it is because the NX don't even care. What they just care about is just to ask questions. Oh, did anything happen there? Okay, yes. In poll unit 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and there was some obstruction of what have you and things like that, and so therefore all the elections that took place there were cancelled. How many votes was that? 200,000 votes. So 200,000 votes just cancelled because of what? Because some market agberos came in there with cutlasses and shoot some guns in the air and everybody dispatched. And the next day, then they still maybe still ballot boxes, and therefore the elections there was cancelled. Just imagine that. For example, a whole senatorial zone election or half of the senatorial zone election or a local government election can be cancelled because of some stupid obstruction of whatever. It's like we don't. There's no government actually in that country. Ordinary election, you cannot even deploy policemen. Where are the police in Nigeria then? They are marking roadblocks somewhere when election is taking place, when they know that election is a hotspot for criminality to take place. And the police officer that they sent there, in most of the police units that I saw, they were not having guns on them. They were just standing there like a British police. Even the British police still have at least a telephone or whistle and things like that to mobilize. This one, they don't even have anything to mobilize with. Whenever anything just happens, then they just be looking around, just, you know, watching their back. you know, so the whole thing is so funny this time around, that Nigeria has become a joke, eh? Among the rest of Africans. It has become a joke because of some idiots that are ruling. And look at this Bushman, they call Mahmoud whatever. Look at him. This man was talking about beavers and what did they call it? Beavers and what? You know, he talked about beavers and the son with beavers. The gospel of beavers was read by this man over and over again to try to convince Nigerians that the beavers will solve all of their problems, as far as rigging is concerned, as far as whatever thing is concerned. And all of a sudden, the main thing that interests people about these beavers, apart from the billions of naira or billions of dollars that was spent on this whole thing, is that the assurance was that the elections will be transmitted, or the election results will be transmitted via the PU, which is the polling unit, directly into the INEC server. By therefore, trying to, um, you know, mitigate by avoiding that that middle, middle, that middleman, what do you call it, intrusion into the system, in order to avoid, if you understand what I mean, manipulation. You know, between from the polling unit, to the collation centers and every other thing. That was the main thing. That was the main thing that interests a whole lot of people about the whole thing, that this man really meant business. That he was going to try to see that this election was free and fair. But to me, anyway, I've been worried all the while because I've never seen any chairman in that position in Nigeria stays in that same position for that long. Because the more you stay there, definitely the more they will corrupt you. This man has been a corrupt person. We know that because Buhari election with in 2019 and stuff like that. Everybody knew what happened. You know, because when this man came out and said, when they asked him to, when the PDP took him to court, they asked him to bring the there's the server's information and things like that. He refused. In fact, he said that the server that don't have the information to the server, that the server don't have any stored information and stuff like that. You understand? So, and they don't have a server in 2019. And this time around, then they failed to transmit results. Then when he was asked at the collation, this thing in Abuja there, then the man started to beat around the bush. Then they said, okay, then now the only thing you can do is to put this whole thing right from the server, put it on the screen while we compare the results that they are dishing out to you, or that they are dishing out, to see if the whole thing corresponds. Because that is the only way the all the other parties will be able to at least cross-check to see if the whole thing matches with what they have. Because this thing is not a secret that when you cast a vote in a polling unit in any local government or area, that the people are there to count the vote. That has been the you know the in you know the ways and manner that these things have been done ever since Jonathan came aboard. That you have to stay in your polling unit and watch them count the vote. So once they count the vote, then you take it, because you are witness, all the people are witnesses to the whole thing. Then you take it that this whole thing is already legit, that everybody has known what it is. But this time around, these people are so determined, or they were so determined to twist the whole thing, to do it in whatever way, by whatever means. They didn't really care. So, but that one is another thing for another discussion for another day, because we saw the whole thing and so I just said, maybe let me just come out and just say, you know this whole thing, because it pains me a lot. So, but yeah, another person is just telling INEC to review the result within 24 hours. He said, candidate of the Labour for Okigwe North Federal Constituency in Imo State, Chikwem Onoha, has called for the review of the results declared for the February 25th House of Rep poll held in the area. It's a British journalist in Owerri, Wednesday. Onoha described the result announced for the election as height of criminality. It's just as simple as that. There's no other fancy word, to describe all these happenings. He said the people of the constituency has given INEC 48 hours to activate the process of reviewing the result or face the wrath of the people. So everybody's highly vexed, you know, because it's like the whole system is messed up. The trust that the people have bestowed on this whole system have been taken away. So you won't be surprised if somebody is crying for another system of government tomorrow, because this so-called democracy has become what Fela called demonstration of craziness. There's nothing more to say about it. So let me know your take on this, because there's so much to talk about, but we can't put everything in one video each time around. So stay blessed, and you know, peace be unto you. So that's all I can say for now, because my brother, I have a lot of things on my mind, but you know, let's stay blessed. So please give us a like and subscribe, please, if you've not, and help our channels to grow. Thank you.